Okay. All right. We're starting from the idea one. Yeah, before that, let me send a message. Okay, so first of all, it's idea 11. Well, before that, by the way, so I'll be joining with Dr. Nancy for core uh teaching on week 5. So it will be talking how to uh cooperation with the product team and technology team in the companies, giving some example in the framework. As well, I will also talking a little bit on the some use case as well as the common architecture of how to use large language model as agencies. Okay, so that's just kind of heads up. And let's dive into, well, one more thing. I forgot I need to do a quick introduction for myself. Uh, so not sure if you have looked in my LinkedIn, I can share that later with in the chat. I'm currently working in the supply chain industry. Uh, I'm on the technology department. I'm the senior director of data in my companies. Currently supervise about 50 people, 6 different teams. It's all regarding with data, data analysis, BI developers, data engineers, DevOps, and database developers as well. So, has been with this company since about 2018, but and before that, I was with another company doing the machine learning work. Academic side, recently got a law degree from Cornell. Before that, I had MBA from Rice. And even before that, I have Master of Computer Science from the George Washington University. So background is pretty diverse. And also uh, got a bunch of certifications. One of them is PMP, that's regarding the project management. It's not the product management. So that's kind of a quick 2 minutes of myself. Okay, let's dive into the idea 11. So is team 11 here?
Yes, yes, Austin.
Okay.
That's myself. That's myself, Nan Zhang, and Karthik. Um, Vishal also joined, but I don't see him on the call today. Is he on the call? No,
Okay.
Vishal's not on the call, but yeah, it's just the three of us here for now.
Okay. Currently you either is ranking number 1. Should you want to wait on him or we should go ahead and
No,
start?
we should just go ahead.
Okay. And we have recording and then a team member can watch that later as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I received you send me uh the documentations regarding your idea. So I
That's right.
think I will just share my screen so that everyone can see that.
Mhm.
And this office hour is about 1 hour, so I'm targeting to use 7 to 8 minutes to share with my thought, and then
Sure.
give half the time for you and your team to ask any questions to me or maybe other team PM have any question to discuss as well.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But if we do use overtime, don't worry about that. We can always talk offline.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Uh, okay, this is a quickly appropriate resume using the GenAI technologies. Uh, this is very cool. I don't have any comment regarding the design. Let's make it bigger.
She's printed this tomorrow.
So customized PM resume.
She's printed. Can we stop at this page?
Sorry.
A pulled keyword in the resume, contact over Gen AI power resume, cut down time spent. Background levels, disqualify resume to kill resumes. So assuming this is the application, the target customer is the PM who is looking for to get an interview or job based on this tool. So the tool is to build a better resume.
Yes,
Right.
it's to build a non-PM. So the target here. So after I send in the deck, is I got a chance to all of us got a chance to talk to Dr. Nancy. So the goal here is to convert a non-PM resume or a PM resume, a person who's an experienced product manager or a person who's completely new to the field, to convert their resume into a product manager's resume. So right now, where the process, how it's done is a resume coach sits with us and gives us one-on-one time, and we have and helps us incorporate all the keywords that Dr. Nancy has, like she endorses those keywords. All the keywords needs to be in there. And our past experience is, so if for my example, I'm a data engineer, so I have a traditional software background as well. So all my previous experiences would be repackaged, in a way that it seems like a product manager experience, because there would be some parts of the job that I did where the product manager could have done. So it is kind of, that process needs to be automated. Right now, it's just one person sitting with you and doing it. So that process needs to be automated. The test data set that we have is all the resumes that Dr. Nancy has already worked on, like she has in her drive, for the past 3 years. So that's what we have as our test data. Yeah, and all the keywords that she uses, and the context we're giving, with all those questions that she wants us to answer throughout, in order to repackage our experience. Yeah, so that's the context. Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. To shorten that in one sentence is to converting the resume to a PM style resume.
That's right.
Okay.
This doesn't make any, there's no significance for the 30, 60, and 90. The numbers, please don't bother that. This was just something that I came up with, like, oh, we expect these features to be there, not that it's 30% this and 60% that, and nothing like that. It was just something I came up with.
Mhm.
It just means that it would give instant feedback and suggestions. Like as the resume is being edited, it would give you suggestions and prompt you to give it more context, as a user. And it would be like you can pick like from a bunch of 3, 4 resume templates, and it would be AI powered customization. That's all for this slide though.
I see. Makes sense. Uh, it's more efficient and AI powered. I got it.
Yep. So from these two slides is what I really wanted your input, Austin. So this is like just a high level of the design that I could think of. Yeah, I really appreciate your feedback on this.
So user interface, and for this case, a website works better. You shouldn't consider any cell phone applications. I do see that some of the applications that offer the apps, but that's good for the looking for the job. It's not for looking for a resume.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Main pipeline, I see the embedding functions converts into resume to vector representations. That's not component. That's what you describe is called a workflow or data flow.
Right.
The component should be defining is the features of your application that need to be have. It's not how you implement that, but I can get your point.
Yeah.
I'll
I
just
didn't
comment
give much of
that,
a thought. It was just some word that came. Okay. Sorry. I'll correct that. Yeah.
yeah, like my point is, I understand that does need to exist, but it's not qualified as the component.
Components. Yeah. Sure.
Retrieval functions,
I was just basically trying to explain the system design below. So
Mhm.
there's a system design below, and that number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, corresponds to the
Yeah.
number on the system design as well. So like you can read both together as a diagram and its explanation.
Yeah. Okay, and then that is all making sense. Like vector database, yes, you could do that. Just uploading those existing knowledge. In this case, will be the resume to the database for the reference. And then promos make sense. That's how you prepare, customize that, and to call the Gen AI models. Yeah, makes sense. And post that, and you may need to have some loops or iteration to call multiple times of Gen AI. But I think that's already covered. And the feedback, which is the feedback that you're giving to the user of how their resume looks.
So,
I'm
so
confused on
feedback.
this part.
So gathers user feedback. So if you look at the diagram below, in the user interface, right on top, if you can increase the size on this. Yeah, from the user interface, basically two things come out of the user interface. One
User
would be the
feedback.
first one that's uploading the resume itself, and the second one would be user feedback. So the way I visualize it, it would be like a running chatbot kind of a screen here. It would be a split screen, and then the moment I upload my resume, it would, based on whatever context it already has, it would output the first edit, first copy of my. So then I, as a user, I would see, oh, this is how it looks. Oh, maybe I should prompt it more in this direction and give some kind of a feedback in the form of a prompt. And that should be taken in and processed. And then yet another edit of my resume should be output. So something like that is what I assume it should be.
I see. Okay, let's back to here. That makes sense. Updates resume. Um, I have, well, that's to be more details part. I have a little concerns on knowledge-based updates, especially on this path.
Right.
So we should be careful of what data to be put into this vector database. Assuming that everything that customer feedback is good, and we put that into database, and then it is possible that the system get hacked.
Yes, I see your point. Yeah. It should not. So you mean to say it should be some kind of a function that overrides and not
Supervised.
overrides and
Yeah.
not appends, right?
Yeah, like this flow right now, there's no controller between the user feedback and updater. So the
Yeah.
knowledge-based updaters need to be supervised. It's not unsupervised, which is you need to monitor and check what is put into the database. That need to be at some point some human effort or set up some rules and based on the rule base.
So the knowledge base updater, by the knowledge base updater, I meant the rules itself. So that is like updated on the new resume. It's like, so what goes into the database would be embeddings of the converted, like a new resume is being embedded into the database. It's not the um it's not the it's not the user feedback that goes, but a new version of the resume gets updated when a user feedback is given. And I just need to override it, is what I hear, right? Every time a new feedback comes in.
Uh, I got your point. Yes, your point is you need to update the database based on the user's feedback, so the database can improve every time.
Yes.
Yeah, that feature is necessary. I got your point.
Yeah.
Oh, how to from the user feedback to update that to database? That is a security concerns that you need to consider. assuming, I mean, if in this world everyone is good person, then this scenario that's working perfectly. But if someone have, for example, just hired 10,000 people and try
Right.
to giving the bad feedback to your system and then tell you that here that is the what they want. So eventually they could tuning you database to be a could be a data engineer database, which is everything output is not like PR.
Yeah. I understand. You could ingest like biased components into the database, right? Like you could because there's no control there. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
need to add
how do
a
you
somehow add a control.
okay? How do you suggest we add a control? Like, is it like a validation step or like a human in the loop kind of?
At this point, what my suggestion is starting point is as a human as a step, and you do the batch update. Similar
Okay.
of what you initially log into this database, which is all the
Mm,
past 3 years that Dr. Nancy has been as a
mm,
human being monitored this, modify this resume and then use that to the template. Same that add a control here that human as the step and to review everything,
mm.
then push to that. And you have been a data engineer before, you know that how important MDM it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just the scalability and the monitoring and logging is not something. So those two last couple of components are not something that I'll be working on, I think, right now because it's not so much of a priority, but it's just there because it just has to be there as part of a design. Because Dr. Nancy said scalability comes into mind only if there are like hundreds of thousands of users using this at the same time. But Dr. Nancy said hardly 2 or 3 people in a day. So that's not a big of much of a concern, and even monitoring and logging not so much of a concern at the moment. Maybe at a later point.
Yeah, later point. Yeah.
Yeah.
The targeting right now for your team is to within a few weeks. Uh, I don't know the exact data, probably targeting like end of November or sometime. Then there is a MVP demo day. So you need to have something to be demo on that date. Then
Right.
you could break down into the multiple iteration is in the beginning you can totally just remove the everything
Feedback.
after 11.
Okay.
And then don't worry about those like scale up, scale out,
Mm-hmm.
uh, monitor and logging minimum part, and
Mm-hmm.
just the key part to have a version of that. After you
Right.
finish that, then adding the monitor, adding the scalability part.
Right.
And then if you're building the system in the cloud, that will be easy, very easy setting. Just give a pool of the
Yeah.
compute resource, then that's it. Similar to the ingress and then of the networking side, load balancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, but this is good. That's very good.
Sure, thank you. And so this is the resource count that I have, of which so after ever since this deck was sent out, the front end developer did confirm, so that person is
Mhm.
in. The
Yeah,
data scientist did confirm. The data engineer who confirmed dropped off. So I'm short of a data engineer now, and this is quite data engineer heavy. This application I cannot do without a data engineer. A
yeah.
backend developer did confirm. So I have a front end, backend, and data scientist, but I do not have a data engineer. I mean, I did interview a person and he looks promising last night. I interviewed him, but he has not confirmed because he wants to check out his options with the other projects too. And I
Okay.
cannot stop him from doing that. But yeah, so I just have three who's confirmed, and that three does not include a data engineer. So yeah, I'm kind of in that situation where
It could be okay. The backend developer can do the similar things on the settings for the engineer. That should be okay. And as you said, then you can do the part of the work as well.
yeah,
Uh, is anyone from your team that familiar with cloud
I'm familiar with cloud. Like as a from a PM perspective, or you're saying the developers?
developer?
Yeah, so, I think our data scientist is familiar, and even our backend engineer is familiar with cloud.
Okay. then that should be good.
It should be good. Yeah. Okay. So I'm really pushing for this data engineer to join because we need to deliver something too, right?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
should be good.
Sorry to interrupt the conversation there, Austin. Like, do we really need to use cloud, or can we use our own local compute for this project? Like, is cloud, because cloud comes with cost, right? Like, if we want to host our application in the cloud environment, we need to pay for the compute resources, right? Can we just host it in our local computer? When this scales out and we deploy it in production, we can leverage cloud. But in the development process and testing purposes, can we just use our own computer?
Yes, you could. If you have a strong computers, yes, you could. Using cloud have two benefits. Number one is, uh, if you just apply a new account, then Azure can give you $200 to spend, and Google can give you $300 to spend. So for your project for the next 1 or 2 months, that should be enough.
Mhm.
And I think that
Okay.
can use more than that. And then the secondly is, using the cloud can give you the chance if you want to try with the hosting your own large language model. I have been trying to hosting the Meta's free version of the Lambda model, but it requires a big size of memory and disk and GPU.
Yeah.
Program are running, and I don't have that strong power, so I have to buy another graphic card, which is a big cost compared with on the cloud.
Mhm.
But again, yes, the MVP,
Yeah.
you could do that.
And that was my next question, but I will bring it up when I discuss the project idea 19. But I think this is great, Aishwarya. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Austin.
all right, sounds good. Then let's move to the next one. Let's think next should be the team number 9. Who is on team number 9?
Hi, Austin. Good evening. So we have some developer also join our the office hour. We have John, we have Irene, and we also have Innocent. So they are developer. Yeah. So yeah. So our yeah, we just want to ask for your advice about the technical stack of our product. So. Maybe we will just kind of give you a quick I will use 2 sentences to explain what our product did. So our product is a app that is a user-driven dietary platform that allow user to define and customize their own dietary preferences, and it will focus on meal plan and recipe generation, and that way we can avoid direct dietary recommendations. We migrate the risks of misinformation, and we will ensure the apps adapts to individual needs without imposing prescriptive advice. Yeah.
Is anything that you can share the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, let me share my screen real quick.
And who else on your team in this meeting?
Yeah, we have Innocent, we have John, we have Aaron. If you guys can open the camera, that would be nice. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Ethan, you said we should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Dr. Clancy's policy that if you are talking, you need to open the camera.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Let me share with you our screen. Yeah. I think you can see my screen, right, Austin? So this is our presentation. We already done with our presentation. So our presentation is just aim for like based on different users' dietary preference, we're gonna generate the meal plan for them. We're gonna generate the recipe for them. But the detailed, some of the details of the functionality, we're gonna do some voice of customers. So, oh, yeah. But today, our both of the two lead PM, they are not there. They are not here. So they kind of want to ask
You
me.
are the lead.
Yeah, I'm the lead. Yeah, and but we do have another technical engineer. He's innocent. So we kind of like have a rough architecture we designed together. So we just want to make sure if everything makes sense to you based on
Okay,
your
two questions before that. Number
Yeah.
one is, who is the targeting customer?
Yeah, I think our targeting customer is the people who have the special dietary need, but they do not have time to plan for for some recipe for some meal plan, but they do have some preference like they want to eat some low calories or low carbs food, so we can some sort of use AI technology to help them realize that. Yeah,
Okay, well, that's kind of answer my second questions as well.
yeah,
What is the pain point? But I only heard part of that.
yeah.
Do you mean that they just don't have time to make the selections, or they have no ideas how to do the combinations?
Yeah, I think what you are here is bring an excellent point. I believe it will be both because we may have different personas for different user. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I probably will let because our time is limited, your time is limited. I will let Innocent to share his screen to discuss the tech stuff with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my name is Innocent, and I am part of this team as a developer. And basically, based on our user requirement and the product we are trying to build, as Ethan described it to you, we have this draft of how our workflow is going to be like. So we have the starting to the end point over here. Basically, an explanation of whatever is being written over here is down here, but I'm just going to go through
Mhm.
the quick with this one before I dive into the details. So we going to have an interface which will be either Flutter or React Native. That is a cross-platform. The team, we haven't decided on which mobile UI we are going to go with right now. And then based on the interface that we choose, that won't be a problem. But the main core functionality with the requirement from the users will be light on what the user preferences. That is, we going to take into consideration whether the user has some kind of allergies, like the goal of the user, and some of
Mhm.
the activities that the user intends to get from the app.
Yeah, that's kind of a customer profile.
Yes, the customer profile. So based on what the customer requires, that is the customer profile, uh we would have functionalities that will be supported by using a backend process. We will either go with a Fast API or Flask. We haven't decided on the backend yet as well.
Don't use Django, is out of date.
Yes. Right. Now when we are done with the backend, actually the backend would also have a second third party, which will be how we're going to have a user responsive, like a user readable response to the client. That is, we would do some kind of web scraping to get information or like uh, a data knowledge base where we would scrape the information that we would want to respond to the user. So we already have some dedicated site where we would scrape data to see, we would scrape data to have the required information that we want to respond to the user, then we would, based on that, actually go to OpenAI and draft a well documented like response, and we would respond to the user based on that. And we would also store the information, and we would have a feedback mechanism for the user to rate whether the response that the user the app gave to the user is correct or not correct. Like, does it make sense to the user or not? So, but we would have this like feedback mechanism to see whether the response are performing good or not.
Okay. Sorry, I'll be
Okay,
I got someone knock my door. I'll be back very soon. Give
right.
me about 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Yes, let's continue user interface.
Right. So let me start my video. Okay, yes. So basically we have the basic draft of what we want to do in the app. And we also have some kind of extension ideas that we want to add. But for the first MVP, we're just going to focus on the basic functionalities of our app. So the user interface will be just like as I've described earlier on. It's going to be either Flutter or React Native for cross-platform development. And then based on this, like our user interaction, we'll be able to design everything in our user interface. Now, since we're going to have a separate backend from the front end part, which is the user interface, we're not going to focus heavy on the development of the functionalities on the user interface. We're just going to have a user interface that will call some API back in our backend architecture to be able to give to the user whatever they require from our app based on our functionalities that we want to provide for them. So we're going to have a home screen, and the home screen will display a message and a quick
I need
access.
to
Okay.
so this is regarding the user design.
Yes.
Is there any questions regarding here, or like you just want to let me to go through everything? I mean, those like a home screen
Yeah.
chart
Yeah.
interface, that should be the PM's work.
Right. Right. So, and the backend. Okay. So basically, we want to show you what we have right now. Then
And
we would
you
want.
can send me this documentation for me.
Oh, okay. 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 That sounds good. And the backend architecture, the stack, I'm just focusing on the stack that we are using, then we would get your input on that. So the backend would use Flask or Fast API for that. And we would also have some kind of like Pydantic ORM to be able to communicate with our database.
Any questions here?
And we will be using Postgres SQL. So the question we have over here, actually, with some of the questions, I think Ethan can also join in whilst I'm speaking with the stack that we have and some of the pending questions that we have. If you have some suggestions based upon this one, like based on the architecture that we are presenting to you. We'll also be doing web scraping of the data. And then based on the data that we get, we would,
Oh, wait. Yeah, let's back to the number 3 point, like backend architecture. I mean,
yes,
are you trying to just tell me and present in front of me like what you have, or you
yes.
my opinion of which part, or there's any question you want to ask?
Not necessarily a question, but
Okay.
what we have, and if you think there was something that we need to improve, change, or like an option that we should use instead of this.
Okay, so if you want me to like review the documentation of that part,
Yeah.
I can give the feedback offline. I
Okay.
believe like if you like voice over through everything, then it will take entire sessions.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
Austin,
looking on
yeah.
to if you have any specific questions that you need my opinion like right now.
Yeah, we do have some specific questions. So one of them is like we plan to design a feature that allow user to drop a link through the app, and by those link, the system will automatically analyze the information from the recipe in the link, and based on the user's dietary preference, it will automatically adjust the recipe and generate the recipe for the user. So our tag, we discussed a little bit about this tag. One suggestion is like we probably want to use a vector database, and another is like we just do prompt engineering. So for realizing this feature, could you give us some suggestion on this?
Why you need this feature? I mean, my understanding of like to reading a link, which is just in the backend to call a browser and reading what is the information in this link, then I
Yeah.
don't see there's any relations between a vector database or large language model APIs. You just call a backend browser to read it. That's it.
Oh,
To do.
so basically, from the recipe, we may adjust the recipe because different users have different preference. So this is the first one, and another one is like we may swap some ingredients from the recipe because some user may do not like so many oil or so many butter, something like that. So we think this feature may need some AI involvement if possible. Yeah, but it's still, we are still discussing this one.
I don't think you need it. As you
Oh,
said, this is just a filter data. So as a given recipe, what you want is some people may dislike something, which is you already know from customer profile. Then just regex filter based on that. You see the keywords, remove it. That's it.
okay,
If
okay,
you can finish that in a simple way, like run a program less than 2 seconds, then you don't have to use AI. AI is to solve the problem that AI can only solve. This
mhm,
is not a project or exercise to let you abandon the old way, which is the most efficient way, and then use AI to give you a not perfect example. I mean, AI is aimed to make it more efficient.
I see.
But clearly, there is another way which is better than the AI. Then why you use AI, right?
Right. Yeah. I think this is a really great point, Austin. And another thing is like we have another feature, it's kind of like based on user's preference, we may generate the meal plan for the user. So we 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 think this one may also need some AI's help, but we really need your input here for this feature, for how to realize this feature.
I didn't get the point.
Yeah. So based on different users' preference, we want to help the user, we want to automatically generate meal plan for the user, either based on the recipes from our own database, or from the information from the internet. So we just want to, ask for your expertise to see if there's
I see.
anything. Yeah.
After this question, we need to move to the next idea.
Okay.
So I'll give you two hints for you to discover. So number one, try to think how to compare the similarities of different recipes so that you can choose one from the existing recipe to use, not creating a fake recipes because you never know when randomly A plus B, then they can make out something that's not able to eat. Right. For example, if you put vitamin C together with a lot of alcohol, that's not good. It will cause the alcohol to digest very quickly and people will get drunk very quickly. That's not good practice. But if AI joining that may cause that issues. Another example is yes, could be someone eating some milk and then when milk together with some like a lemonade juice, put those things together, then they won't make it work. They just make it lot the milk to uh well, I mean, for me that's super weird. I just cannot imagine what it could be outcome, but you got my point is it's
Yeah.
not random A plus B, it's need to be something that's based on the resume when they looks that. So it's a little bit risky to ask AI to generating from the scratch of that. So it's better to use a vector database to find out what is relevant and let AI to modify that.
I
Yes, actually, exactly what we want to do is what you described. Like we would provide for the AI what it should respond to. So we would have a knowledge base where we will fetch what we want the AI to, like rewrite it in a human readable form to there. So we were actually thinking of using a vector database or storing the data in like for example in a DB so that we would fetch for the correct recipe which we know and verified that this is the correct recipe
Yeah,
before we
that is a good direction to think about that. So let me ask one last question is,
okay.
do you have enough developers?
We have two developers and I am part of like we have two
we
other
have
developers.
5 developer, but one is front end, but rest of them we think we can pull them in either the back end or the data science part.
Okay, makes sense. So number one, I think conclusion is the technology is in general looks good. There is a small point that need to be continued to do the research and tweaking. I'm not able to give you the exact answer you need because this is not my homework. I can only provide the guidelines. And then right now it's still the early stage, which is week 3. So this is the perfect time that you do more research. If you do see any more questions, then DM me and then we can discuss it case by case.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much.
All right, this is very good, very detailed, perfect.
Thank you so much.
Let's move to the next team, team 19.
Yeah, that's me. May I bring up my screen here?
Yes, are you the only person representing team 19?
Oh, I think is Cheryl on the call?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
Cheryl is on.
with unmute your camera.
Yeah. So we had a few discussions around the system design. I'll just quickly recap on the product ideas and key features we are trying to build on. And we haven't done a lot of analysis like the other teams on the system architecture, but we do have a high level understanding on how different components come together. So we just want to run our ideas with you, Austin, and see if you have any quick feedback. It's too early in the stage, but we'd appreciate it if you have any comments on that. The problem statement, brand boost is really trying to tackle the problem of hate speeches, people in the social media um, struggling with their reputation, struggling to have safe online presence. A lot of challenges around reputation damage and social media users feeling unsafe online. So with our brand boost, we want to solve that problem by providing a AI-powered solution. We would not only give them analytics dashboard presenting key trends, hateful speeches, and um, analytics on what people are talking about for the specific user. But also, we give them an option to ask our chatbot, like our solution, kind of fine tune their post. For example, a social media influencer can ask our app, hey, I want to make a post, I want to improve my presence. What kind of post do I need to make? So our AI chatbot will give that user a specific recommendation on what post they can make. We can even create that post for them. So the existing competitors, they don't really go that like 9 yards, right? They're just doing a lot of analytics, not the recommendation part. That's where we want to fit in, using AI and RAG models and all of that. We want to go to the next step of providing more interactive. Having said that, some of the key features we're targeting are mostly on the analysis front, like at a high level, but we're also looking at doing peer-to-peer comparisons, like gamification elements. Teenagers could interact with each other and say how much positive score do you have? Like, can you create more uh, social media posts to have positive engagement? So kind of use that gamification aspect. We also intend to, obviously get hate speeches as much as we can. That's our core value, right? We want to identify these hateful comments to protect the user's reputation. From a target customer perspective, we obviously want to target influencers and content creators. They have a lot of skin in the game, to pay for these kind of apps. But also, marketing agencies and companies that are managing these brands for influencers, right? We could also consider B2B business segments who care about the reputation for organizations that are being targeted by, big bots. It could be people of certain demographics or whatever, and they could use our app to kind of have more positive sentiment on the engagement there. And obviously, looking beyond the MVP, we can always target professionals, recent graduates, networking professionals to kind of help them on what kind of content they should be making to have more presence, to attract more recruiters or, or even recruiters can use our brand boost score to kind of screen the applicants. For the MVP, we are just limiting our target customer to be influencers and content agents. That would be our initial target. Just because the existing players like Brand24, who are like the major competitor, they're doing businesses. So we wanted to target customers that Brand24 is not targeting. And Cheryl here, she's based on LA and she has good friends in the content and marketing field, and we already started doing customer feedback, customer voice, and use the data to kind of fine tune our apps features. Again, we want to make sure our product market fit, like our product addresses the market. We do believe the market is big enough to go after. I mean, there is Brand24, but there is a big size market for everyone. We may not be the first entrant in the market, but we do believe if we do the right feature, we have a fair play there, and there is definitely a big scalable aspect of this. We want to make sure we build the right infrastructure. Like one of the questions that I had in the previous idea, the resume builder is, should we host cloud or should we host it in our local computer, especially when it comes to the AI models and all that. Yeah, some details around success metrics we want to track as we build our MVP. We want to make sure these metrics are tracked and loop back into the development process.
Yep, looks good. I think it's all makes sense logically. Good.
So what we're trying to put our heads together with the dev team is really, how do we approach this problem? Our idea is like in a high level. We're trying to kind of finalize like certain key development decisions, like what kind of development technologies we should be using. So this is what we kind of together for now. We want to have like obviously the front end part of it on the left side, the mobile and the web user would access the content or internet. It could be just them logging in, and then the API access is really the key here. We want to be able to send the APIs, like it could be user post, a specific user post, it could be the user login information, or it could be a specific brand, right? These are some of the APIs we could send. And it could be a Twitter or Facebook API. For our MVP, we would probably pick Twitter, but we can expand it to Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, right? All the social media companies there. And we want to have some kind of data engine to store this and process. Obviously, we'll get the data in JSON format. We'll store it something like Spark, such as Spark, and then that would kind of be our database, data strategy in the backend. And we would use that to kind of funnel back into our AI LLM model. This is where we kind of like not very sure about, because we wanted to use Olama. Olama is like a local, running on our local computer, not running it on Azure or AWS, and it requires decent GPU requirements. It doesn't require like significant GPU footprint. We do wanna leverage Mistral 7B, 7 billion tokens, LLMs for this, and we want to integrate that for so this is our AI strategy now. I know it's kind of like still out of the place. We want to start with this and see if we can kind of use this. I mean, this will be like the major AI strategy, right? We want to use this as a input, and then we process the request, and then we send it back to the
Okay.
Spark database.
Okay, looks good. The red corner of the rack pipeline needs some improvements. How you balance between two AI model?
Mhm. We have looked at Mistral and then OpenAI and then other models, and I believe that Mistral can be free and it can run on a local computer, and we can send any number of tokens and requests.
No, that's not the
So how
question. The question is, you have two AI models. How are you balancing using that? Which one is first? Which one is second?
Oh, you mean the Olama and the Mistral 7B?
Mm-hmm.
Those two? Okay. Yeah. So you do see that.
Let me share my screen to give you a direction to think. I'm not able to uploading the files by this Zoom meeting. It has limitations, but you can take a screenshot.
Yeah.
So you need to have agent selectors based on different case of your large language model. And this could be the one model. This could be another large language model. If you have third one, that's fine. And then based on these agent selectors, there will be do the allocations of this task from this promos, and based on what you need, and use multiple large language model agent to get different output, and the output need to be aggregate together. That's the final result. Yeah, this is the architecture you can reference.
I see.
Yeah.
So we need this kind of picture to be good.
Yeah, if you want to take a screenshot, that's fine.
Yeah. This is an important feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. Other than that, I think it all makes sense.
Austin, we do have this deck, right, as part of our course.
We do have this one. This is week 5.
Week 5, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We do have it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just reading up online, and they talked about. I mean, our one of the major functionality of the app is to do sentiment analysis. As part of that, I was wondering if any of this is kind of like part of the scope, like hallucination, right? I know like AI algorithms, hallucination is a big thing. So do you think we should tackle that as part of the sentiment analysis, like bias and all of that? Do you think
Yes. So if you take that screenshot, the unified result and also adjust the rules is the two things you can control the quality of your outcome. Yes, and that is my suggestion. Experience is you need to set up some rules to make sure that pass the sanity check of the outcomes.
Got it? So the rules is where where we tackle the hallucination issue, right?
I'm sorry, is that a question?
Yeah, sorry, I just made a statement. Yeah, and then I also read about like one shot, zero shot, few shot prompting, and then there is like various aspects of like multi-agents and terms and all of that.
Mhm.
So it does only apply when we use the chatbot, right? Do you think we
It's
could?
based on your use case, how to apply those agents, how to compare with the
Right. Because in the example you shared, there are like three agents, right? Agent A, agent B, agent C.
Mhm.
There are multiple agents interact. They kind of interact and collaborate together to perform a certain task, right?
Yeah, it could be all in parallel. It could be all in parallel, do the same thing with different agent, or it can divide it to conquer and then assign different tasks for different agent and merge at end of the pipeline.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
That's all I had. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what do you say?
That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. And my apology for team four. Is I need to jump another meetings. Is we are like running out of time. But if you can send me you team's ideas to the message, then I will provide in my feedback, and then I will see if I will be available uh Saturday or Sunday to make up a meetings for team four. Who is on team four?
Yeah, I'm here. Like I'm actually on team two, but in the slot four, if that is what you're looking for.
Uh, oh, sorry, team two.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I have sent you the document of my pitch, like I just showed in the previous session, and also the architecture shared. So
Okay, I saw that. The idea to yes, that's perfect. I will look into that, and then I will send you a time, and we can discuss a time to meet separately, either Saturday or Sunday.
yeah, that works great. Thank you so much. Great.
Okay. So questions.
Hi, Austin. This is Vinayak. Sony and I are part of Team 21.
Mm-hmm.
Since we were on the wait list for today, should we
Yes,
just send you the documentation we have, and would you have time to schedule some time with us the next couple of days?
Yes, next week will be the same topic or the same time.
Got it. Got it.
If you
Okay,
have any urgent thing to ask, yes, definitely feel free to send me a DM message on Discord.
perfect. So we'll do that. I think we kind of have the idea in place, but I think we might need some guidance in terms of overall architecture and whatnot. We're working with our engineering team to do that. Once we have V1 of that, we'll send it over to you so that you can get a pre-read.
Yes, so for this week, the most important things on the engineer side is to make sure you have all the people.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, sounds perfect. Thank you all for joining this office hour, and I really appreciate you spend time the night with me. I will send the recording to Dr. Nancy, and same time next week. I will see you all. If you have any questions, and for other people who are on the wait list or not even on the wait list, send me a DM message. I will try my best to reply to you. All right, take care.
Thank you.